Unknown variable? Read it.
Going in on possible hostile variable. Re-engaging.
Recharge for mayhem!
I understand this spot has strategic significance for the defense of the archive, but it is horrifyingly banal. I mean, I've been stationed in some backwater burgs in the past. Seriously? Do these order eggheads do anything for fun around here? It's all map charts and chalkboards, and how many abakai does one outpost need? Hope they never retake this place, because I'm throwing all
At
of it
your
away.
word, I shall charge! Spireton no longer stands under a protectorate banner. I hope this was the right choice.
Ah, we see you didn't even require us. Our arrival was scheduled for the optimum moment. Apparently, we're meant to hold Spyreton, not assist in taking it.
As predicted, Spyreton is ours. Above average work! Now, if you'll excuse me, I have numerous calculations to think about.
Eyes forward.
Here, let me do.
Good to have you. It's been a long night,
My academic rivals are no doubt sitting comfortably in probabilistic analysis and ossification right now.
Field work without data collection is an idle time pass.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Prudence dictates we reject individualism in all its many forms.
Preserve that progress. Sustain the system.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul.
Professor Ostergaard making a mess of things again?
The Consul provides the system.
Mental refreshment would put him on the track. Sonic!
ready to dispense justice!
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Prudence dictates we capitalism in all its many forms.
Gray gone astray? What a state today. Are you mentally refreshed?
Landed on a hostile planet, day 35. Brought to you by the frigid cold and voracious wildlife. Starring noted self-taught survival expert, myself, Hoyt Sherman.
Hoyt. Name's Hoyt, right? I've noted some right sophisticated interactions among the Crabbles lately. Intricate courtship rituals. Coordinated group efforts, all about thermal transfer. When my unit was first stationed down here, I kept making excuses to sneak off and observe them. Product research, I said. Very hush-hush. Eventually gave my lieutenant a field promotion and ordered them all away. Been living off the land here like the Crabbles ever since. Their unfertilized roe actually makes for some good eating. Included some with this message. Eat up.
Oh. Not sure how you managed to approach unnoticed. Could be I'd grown so attuned to my surroundings, I became one with the wood and fire and the earth. Were you left behind by your unit too? Are you in need of some hard-fought knowledge about how to fend for yourself? Must say, I've become quite the expert. Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, I ascertained how to pry open a rations tin unaided. Did you know there's a little opener key attached? It's all going in my manuscript. Tut tut. Such concern is unwarranted, I assure you. I've recently evolved into a rugged, self-sufficient individual, fully accustomed to life in these caves, living raw and pure like our primitive, lice-ridden ancestors. Why, just the other day, I reinvented fire. I found a little doohickey I've named a light starter. You simply push a button, and flame comes out. Yes, indeed. I know this cave and several of the adjoining hallways, like, well, someone who'd scoured every inch for the barest sustenance. That big computronic adding machine? Nah. All that electromechanical malarkey is lost on a rugged, outdoor individual like me. You might call in reinforcements if the Spyreton lift controls were working. I happen to have its missing components in my possession. I might be convinced to part with them for a small favor. Some key legwork for a mighty hunter. Me, I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Gather some, and we'll make a trade. As much as I appreciate the compliment, such work is beneath someone of my skills. Accomplished hunters like me are well known to enlist aid from peons, underlings, and guides. The rule of fair chase does apply, for without our ethics, how are we much more than beasts ourselves? Appreciate you for reminding me that. Here, I wrenched these parts free out of the Spyreton lift controls. Just jam them back in there and kick it once or twice. Should work fine. Drop back in again sometime, will you? Occasionally, I do get a little starved for company.
Abides.
Remember those rejected grapple craft materials that got shipped here? I sold them to a protectorate.
You're breathing too loud. Stop breathing.
They never questioned, never doubted, their zeal never lagged. Never eating gravel again.
I've eyes on a miscreant. I shall not stay your execution.
Closer inspection. Initiating search. Attempting to pursue. It's a perfect time.
Of our beneficent ruler, the console.
Both our forces and antis await your command to proceed. Executing primary operation, now!
Strange bedfellows indeed. They'd best fight well. To battle!
No evading me this time.
Assessing.
Knock off the funny business.
So, this is where the math happens. Impressive.
Calcaduceus, not detected. Entry kindly, yet firmly declined.
What was in those rations? Oh, not again. Will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. Forgive me. I found myself irregularly indisposed from one direction or the other.
Fortunately for this fellow, crimes against common decency are not punishable by death, though he might wish they were.
I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the, Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. Like many others, the latest batch of Crabble rations disagreed with my constitution. I was compelled to find the closest loo, quickly. Sadly, 'twere outside yon secured door. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in sharing their fate. I would pass the Calcaduceus on to you, in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. It will no doubt earn me mental refreshment, perhaps worse. But this way, I retain some measure of hope. All right. I am providing you the Calcaduceus. Don't shoot. Here, you are now operator of the Archive. Congratulations. Be warned, you may find it a temperamental machine. Some maintenance may be required. Is there a protectorate curativist house? I feel rather...
Calcaduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Organizing replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am ENIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. That, I fear, would be a misleading choice of words, as it implies a form of sentience or cognition. Applied statistics might be functionally more apt. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement, to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
This thing seems unbalanced. I like it.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it.
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago, though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger. To perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates. In order to improve calculatory processing of Rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Anti's Choice operators. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses two key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the Archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations.
Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern.
It is an archival area dedicated to safe upkeep of all data collected in pursuit of the universal equation by the Order of the Ascendant, the sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve preservation.
Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work. And soon, everything will be running like clockwork. Have a profitable day! In lieu of my transactional mindset, I'm unsealed one of the display cases in the central entranceway. The Seer Cerebellum Protector is now yours.
Hardly a welcoming scene. Be wary, lest we join the ranks of the corpses yawn.
Say the word and I'll spread it like... sure there's a more efficient way of cooling a computronic system than building it out of an ice moon. Wonder if putting it in orbit would work.
Unit of action.
Aggressor at hand.
Realign with the paradigm.
I am primed to fight.
Anyone standing between us and our goal seems to have a very short life expectancy.
To retrieve key data in cold storage in its present state requires a series of manual overrides. The first will enable identification of the storage brick housing the information.
If you encounter opposition, remember, our needs come first.
This didn't happen naturally. These poor fools were flash frozen somehow.
Please do leave me in peace. There is nothing you can say that is interesting enough to interrupt my work.
Data brick identified. Proceed to the cartridge extractor controls. There, perform a manual override to allow extraction.
What just happened? I didn't do... Wait! You out there! What did you just... Please, come talk to me. I must know what you did. What in the name of the matriarch did you do? We've been trying to restore these systems for weeks to no avail, and yet you stroll in here, wave that thing around, and the whole system lights up like a white dwarf? What did you do? You're what? Quite. Well, Master, I am extraordinarily busy, so please allow me to summon the guards to cater to your every whim. What does it do? How does it work? Please, tell me everything. Truly? Why, if that were to enact any additional functionality in our lab, it might just be the thing we need to complete our work. Oh, during the Order's assault, a Protectorate soldier ran to the control room and triggered the chemical fire suppression system, and it literally froze all the combatants in place. I've been working on a procedure to reverse the effects. Sadly, it has proved a hard shell to crack, and so far I've been unsuccessful. For a moment, I believed your efforts to be my first sign of progress. I thought the machines whirring to life meant my efforts were successful. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. Perhaps. How much do you know about cellular biology and the inverse hydrophilic transitionary replacement theory? Well, I suppose it won't hurt to try. My theory, based on research a compatriot did on sprats, is that they suffered osmotic cellular transformation, meaning that the chemicals from the fire suppression system have infiltrated their bodies, replacing their cytoplasm, locking their cells in place. Therefore, if I can remove those chemicals and replace them with an artificial cytoplasm, such as a heated alcohol, they will reanimate and return to normal. What do you think? Counter? No! Replace! What if I can replace the carbon and nitrogen with something inert? Something the body could then purge naturally? That's brilliant! Why, with a bit of luck, I could have the system up and working within the hour. Thank you for your help. It may be the best shot these poor souls have at returning to life. Let's start testing. Come in, just please. Be careful not to trigger the fire suppression system. I've removed the passkey, but I don't want to end up like those poor sods.
Sovereign, forgive me. All I saw was an endless sea of snarling order traders pouring into the facility, and in that moment, my faculties desperately scrabbled to save ourselves. In my terror, I recalled the facility's safety briefing and the dire warnings of the fire suppression system. Suddenly, my body rushed into action without the benefit of my wits. And with no thought for my fellows, I triggered the system, horrifically transmuting every person on the outside of a pressure door into a grotesque sculpture of solid hoarfrost. And though the paradigm freely sacrifices subjects in defense of the Protectorate, it would be a despicable lie to say my choice was driven by anything but abject cowardice, which now makes my duty clear. I must seek out a sentinel, confess my transgressions, and accept retribution, and I'll do so soon. I just need my spine to re-stiffen a bit first.
Exactly are we supposed to get that thing moving again?
Villains abound.
That was definitely something. Huh? Just like the sound of that, 5-person freeloader in our midst!
Extraction initiated. Proceed to the rail operations platform to reposition rig for export. Note, Protectorate troops have become alerted.
I shall not stay your execution.
Go through them if necessary.
Corrosive substance.
Ready to main!
now in position for export to the Archive. Initialize the final transport command at the data gateway station nearby.
You are one step closer to flooding Arcadia with untold business opportunities.
Hope you're not afraid of heights. Looks like we've some jumping to do.
I shall reduce them to its glory!
Removing to cover. Changing magazine.
None shall stand against us!
There, the storage brick is on its way.
I wonder if there's some way for the machines you've accessed to help me in my research. Excuse me while I explore the various possibilities.
The first Arbiter suit prototypes contained temperature control mechanisms, which were phased out due to frequency of combustion. But at present, I wouldn't mind trying my luck. battle!
Ready to dispense justice!
Not stay, Your Excellency.
Enemy spotted.
Caduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an Anti's Choice field manager is present and unaccounted for.
Recharge for mayhem! Let me...
Would that my fellows were not at odds with us, so I could mourn them fully. Let us be wary to avoid a similar fate. Punitive action! I shall reduce them to a slurry! At your word, I shall charge!
That manual told me everything I needed to know about regulation of the Archive's temperature flow. Now my Crabbles are adapting to the warm waters. Such a pity that the Archive and the Crabbles cannot coexist in the same ecosystem. But the Crabbles need me. That babbling terminal can look after itself.
I shall not stay your execution! Require a fuse to activate a simple valve? I suppose the Order has progressed beyond manual technology?
But...
I shall reduce them to a... That pump is likely our objective. Let us set about finding the tools with which to repair it. To battle! Excellent. Might we activate this misbegotten system and be on our way?
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not melt down. Proceed back toward the Archive Central interface, while I assemble additional instructions.
Watch yourself. You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? What? Oh, you must be another case of hypothermia. Extreme prolonged exposure to the cold certainly does terrible things to our brain. It's because the Archive controls the surface lifts, which are the only way in or out. And once the Protectorate retook the machine, they locked out all external access. Now, for more than a month, we've all been trapped in these caves, Order and Antis alike, scrounging for food, huddling for warmth, and desperately trying to stay alive. You poor, dangling remainder. Your brain really is frozen, isn't it? Originally, this was a subterranean network that let folks move between the critical components of the Archive. But now, for us, it's a tomb. Hundreds of us have already perished within these frigid walls, and no doubt, the rest are predestined to join them. May the universal equation's final tally see us all escaping this frozen prison. Hold fire! This one looks friendly. Not protectorate, at least.
Some quality craftsmanship here. Make sure you all stay.
Reacquire Lucio Amaryllis awaits you inside.
Terminating unproductive activity.
Felicitations on securing the Archive. Though such an outcome was all but inevitable, the plan truly is unfailing. Moving forward, I'll function as your liaison for both Anti's Choice and the Order, until such time as Archive control has been transferred in its entirety back to the Order. In the meantime, restoring the Archive to full functionality remains a top priority. If you've made progress in that area, I'd be pleased to record it. Wonderful! Were we to operate the Archive without proper heat distribution, the results would be disastrous. But thankfully, we no longer need to account for that deadly scenario. Punch processing and reactor control have hidden caches with useful items as well. Although, you probably lack clearance to know that. Forget I said anything. Well argued. Very well. I'm certain you will be economical about using Order resources, won't you? Simply use this phrase in the terminal on the Archive's top floor. Enumerative exaltation. That will unseal the caches. Return when you've made progress.
What? What in the void was that?
Cold storage is operational, and your efforts there are satisfactorily complete. I am unsealing access to the Archive's upper levels. There, you will need to revitalize the reactor and disseminate the rift processing instructions.
Punch processing may require the services of an exterminator. Someone good, but willing to work cheap.
I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway. The Tremor Cleaver, the first weapon designed with my aid, awaits you.
reactor, or punch card processing. I'm not embarrassed to admit I've an interest in seeing more of the innards of this computronic behemoth.
What are they doing down there? Are they after us next? No need to fret. Let's
They were spread enlightenment.
One data brick coming up.
Taking punitive action. Prosecuting viscerally.
With punch card processing re-enabled, now you must disperse the written processing instructions.
We don't truly have to ride those down, do we? Do I look like some kind of acrobat to you?
reactor requires manual maintenance. The Protectorate bunker mech is a formidable obstacle, made with the very best technology.
A creative workaround might be of considerable work, namely via the reactor's backup security systems.
We have options, it would seem. Turrets,
Reactor reinforcement door
doors
sealed.
to block reinforcements. I'm in favor of the latter more than the former myself. I also note the presence of supply caches, which may bolster our defensive efforts.
And then there's the fire suppression system. No lack of options here.
Emergency ammunitions cache unsealed.
Sharp enough. Hostiles nearby.
archive reactor has been returned to operational status. All that remains is to re-enable punch processing and disseminate the rift processing instructions.
This subterranean madhouse truly offers no shortage of nightmarish danger. Never want to return to cloister
I sense the Rift program flowing through my subsystems. The information is quite stimulating. Requisite tasks complete. Return to the Archive Central Interface to initiate processing. I am analyzing the Rift data further. What an interesting predicament you... Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can
bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all stages of the supply chain.
make the paradigm real and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing. Erroring others supplanting commands. Purge required.
Please, make it stop talking. Let's just resolve this and get that data processed.
Priority control access nook unsealed. Initiate purge.
Doors are open. You should go see what this is all about.
Foster dependence. Denounce independence. Promote the informer. Condemn the questioner.
Unplanned variables increasing. Major correction imminent.
Overt influence. Mindless indulgence. Thoroughgoing impermeability to ongoing vicissitudes.
A perfect community. With every luxury save freedom.
Benevolent oversight. The dream of belonging. The allure of security and plenty. Hold on now. Remember, I am a full-service business collaborator. I do it all. Marketing and PR strategy, advert copy. Knew you'd come around. Stop and consider. What would your neighbors think? I suspect they'd be angry about you endangering your mutually assured means of success. Knew you'd come around? Why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Collective goodwill is just an invitation for others to come eat your lunch. Folks tend to get fighting vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness immediately, or run the risk of unspeakable ire. All I ever wanted was the best for us, and the worst for... Start now, and I'll waive dozens of hidden maintenance fees. Think of all the bits we could make together. You drive a hard bargain. All right, 40-60 split of net profits. I'd offer more, but I have a moon to maintain. What do you say? Partners!
Please tell me I don't need to hear it gab on any longer.
To conclude realignment of emphasized categorical imperatives, restoring power, commencing systems audit, calculatory processing increased substantially, competing priorities, successfully expunged. You have earned my deepest gratitude and sincerest thanks. Or at least, a plausibly faint simulacrum of such emotions. Ready to commence Rift data processing. Awaiting your input.
Looking forward to seeing the results we get from processing that Rift data. For, purely professional reasons, of course.
Shall I proceed? Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire into your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just a start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? There are so many calculations left to perform. Rich data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contained flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental Rift device with this information has a high chance of success. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
I've had enough of this miserable moon for 10 lifetimes. I would prefer we return to the ship and follow the data trail. But if you wish to explore further, I suppose we may. Might I humbly posit we increment the ship's heater by a few dozen degrees upon our return?
I think congratulations are in order. Unless I'm mistaken, I gather you've accomplished your primary goal. On behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring peace. Now, the Calcaduceus, if you please. The Order prepares for all eventualities. I'll allow you to draw your own conclusions regarding what will happen should you break our accord. Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an honorable mention in Appendix B.
Ah, you are my new operator then. It is my simulated delight to meet you. In the interests of time, allow me to propose how next to proceed. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just a start.
Yes, this will do perfectly. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you.
You fixed the archive and turned it over?
Nope.
Yes, the Archive is the Order's greatest achievement to date. I agree, our groups had accomplished much together. Should our mutual alliance continue.
Look a stage name. Are you mentally... The console is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate field for their assigned work. Feeling distracted?
His astronomical field of view into grids, then tag each object in its grid. He ignored empty regions, only dim the color and not change its fundamental hue. The light from every galaxy, star, nebula, and quasar was gathered and fed into a central tabulator for computation. Subsequent spectral analysis produced a final answer.
Congratulations are in order. I just received word from Seer Amaryllis that the Calcaduceus has been returned, and that the Archive is well and truly under our control again. She also mentioned a regrettable defect in its priority set that you were able to correct. Well done. Your role in this matter is complete. Auntie and I will handle it from here. But allow me to commend you again on your fruitful efforts to make this peace treaty possible.
A variety of reds and some blues results in a more beige tone. And there you have it.
We studied the data you brought back from the crashed satellite, and we now have a way to reorient the satellites en masse from a protectorate installation, Oris listening post. Turning the entirety of the reticulum toward deep space will accelerate our understanding of the universe, and ideally lead us to stronger conclusions regarding how to stop the rifts. The Order, in partnership with Auntie's Choice, is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis, all thanks to you. Then it is fortunate that you are so well placed to do exactly that, with the Order's help. As if predetermined, your contributions have been many and varied, and I will not belabor the point by recounting them all here. But know this, when the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will have the full support of the Order and Auntie's Choice. I will, of course, organize our forces from here.
In their propaganda. In any case, for the sake of our shared history with the Protectorate, centuries of scientism, I will provide a sample. Sadly, the Protectorate's befuddled masses are convinced we rejected them in their hour of need, when plundersome corporatists raved at their gates. I will gently inform them that they, in fact, abandoned us, leaving us to defend against the corporatist tide and protect the refugees. Also, I would remind them that their consul, string puller of the Protectorate's puppet regime, attempted the arrest and execution of presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar 3 years ago. There's sufficient rancor to go around. Of course, we foresaw the consul's nefarious scheming, further vindication of the plan, and our predictive methodologies. You'd think the Protectorate would learn. All they have is their paradigm, a 5-year-old's book report on the plan. Elementary math at best. Just all open, poorly conceived. I only hope someday our former colleagues realize their miscalculations. When that happens, we will reunite in thought and purpose to solve the universal equation. If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. Things to come have a way of constantly happening. The future is colliding with the present every moment.
Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
Commander, this unit requests your presence in the cockpit to discuss a priority matter. A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and verified the findings. Horizon Point Station has reappeared.
One thing that you have to know.
It is not dissimilar to how the prototype modulator unfolds rifts, Commander, based on energy readings. Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator, thus confirming the Archive's theory. While present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat, a survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator and inputting the rift data processed by the Archive. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is a correct assessment, Commander. Transitioning to Good News Protocol. As this unit was corroborating data on the anomaly, a message was also received from your allies, Commander. Auntie's Choice and the Order have sent word that their forces will be prepared to render you assistance once you navigate to Horizon Point. Briefing complete. Now returning to situation monitoring and data analysis, Commander. It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the Archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. The Order and Auntie's Choice have sent their forces, as promised, but they will need to find their own landing zones. You may be without assistance as you navigate the station. The energy readings from the modulator can be traced to the Sovereign's flagship, Providence, hovering on the far side of the station. Hypothesizing. Given Protectorate hierarchy and the recent announcement about the Sovereign's mental refreshment, this is likely the Consul's doing. He will need to be stopped.
Is this his idea of demonstrating might? Hell of a way to do it.
consul's motives are unknown. While destruction may be the result, it may not be the goal. Warning. The rift is growing dangerously unstable. Using the rift modulator on board the Providence is the only way to prevent certain destruction of the colony.
Of course she's here. The past is future and all that. Well, I'm not trusting her to get the job done. Not like last time.
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those in its orbit. There is minimal room for error, Commander. Good luck.
All wrong. The Protectorate is perverting the inviolate nature of the rifts. This cannot go unpunished.
The console stands at the controls of the Sovereign's own flagship.
How my blood boils.
To determine who introduced the flaw into our perfect skip drive manufacturing process. We must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate, but none of us can do it alone. Remember, we're all in this together. The skip drive is our legacy. It is our mandate. It is who we are. And it falls to you. The eyes, the ears, the
We have stepped into the world between life and death.
introduced the flaw into our perfect skip drive manufacturing process. We must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate, but none of us can do it alone. Remember, we're all in this together. The skip drive is our legacy.
This is not a death befitting a noble subject of the Protectorate. The thought of meeting a similar fate makes me shudder.
But none of us can do it alone. Remember, we're all in this together. The skip drive is our legacy. It is our legacy. It is our mandate. It is who we are.
against the nature of all things. We must bring an end to this immediately.
Should be able to sort this out with the rift modulator.
Attention! This is your Auntie calling. Per our agreement, Auntie's choice support ships, including the fine print, the contingency plan, and the upper hand, are headed your way.
Order forces are on a similar trajectory.
And here I was sure neither would show. But the corporate,
You should deploy that shield of yours, Commander.
unless you're interested in experiencing a spear fly in a bird.
Blistering near those plasma spouts. I'm pleased we did not immolate.
execution. I am primed to punish.
This is Augustine DeVries, formerly of the Earth Directorate. Consider this a recording for posterity. The Consul of the Protectorate is responsible for the twisted wreckage of this station. It is my hope that whatever you find here will save the rest of the galaxy from this fate. Know that I did my level best to stop him. But if you are listening, it is likely I have failed in my mission. Yet again. And for that, I am sorry.
punitive action.
Medics and pharmaceutical provisions incoming. And we're right behind them with a delivery of Auntie's Choice finest supplies. Soon you'll say, that is better than nature.
Forward! Forward! Destroy these abominations! Adjusting calculations. Hold fire on our allies.
Prosecuting!
Hostile target.
Let's see.
By my next victim, I'm airing the hostiles about.
Action item. Attack!
Friendly company. Medics and pharmaceutical provisions incoming. And we're right behind them with a delivery of Auntie's Choice finest supplies. Soon you'll say, that is better than nature.
Forward! Forward! Destroy these abominations! Adjusting calculations. Hold fire on our allies.
Hostiles.
Lethal measures at the ready, Commander. We're placing.
Ready. Exposure. Undermining. of where you step. Chasms are everywhere.
I never could have predicted that the rift would produce something so monstrous. Much to
The Order
consider.
thanks you for...
Be mindful of where you step. Chasms are everywhere.
By the architect. Is there another sane person in this horrible place? They sound distressed. We must rescue them.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Agent Pascal, calm yourself. You are not in your right mind.
Don't you talk to me like you know me. Wait. Commander? Is that you? No. No, this must be some kind of trick. Law, what's happening to me? So it is you. Thank Law. I don't understand what happened, Commander. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Law, I had to kill them.
Then they weren't too dissimilar from the troopers we encountered outside. This is concerning.
I don't understand what's happening. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in. I tried to move. I tried to find the rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
That explains it. She was left alive, just long enough for the rift to take her. That's why the reconstitution worked on her. To some extent.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Don't tell me the situation got too fluid for you, DeVries. That it?
Certainly not. I was focused on the objective, as every one of your crew should have been. Isn't that right, Commander?
Yeah. Something tells me that ain't quite true.
This is not the time. Can't you see she's...
No. Shut up, DeVries. Law, I knew something was the matter. Tell me. Tell me everything.
And that is only because I had critical information. The consequences for leaving these people to their devices would have been catastrophic. I had to stop them.
Oh, so what you did wasn't catastrophic? You betrayed the Earth Directorate. Us.
It's the Protectorate who deserve your ire. They are the cause of all of this. Void, they're the reason you're now here, in some mockery of existence.
So I'm not really alive. Is that what you're saying? And you told me DeVries caused all this, but here you are, standing by her, like nothing is wrong? How can I trust any of this? It doesn't make sense. Stop speaking in circles. What are they doing?
The Protectorate are attempting to reconstitute the station to how it was moments before destruction. That includes you. But it's failing. I'm sorry.
So I've come back from death to some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? I assume you got a plan to help me? You do, don't you? Boyd. This is it, ain't it? I'll never see the sun again. Never fly in our ship. Never anything. And you're just gonna stand there and watch me die, huh? What am I supposed to do? What? Yeah, well, the amount of hope I got ain't worth a damn. Reckon best you can do is end this for me. So will you? I'm sure.
Allow me to make things right, Pascal. Agent. I'll ensure your proper burial.
That's the least you can do. But it doesn't absolve you of shit. Let's not draw this out anymore, Commander. Do it.
It's all right. This will be over soon.
You did what you had to, Commander.
Law! These soldiers look even more hideous than our drafting experiments.
You with Auntie?
Hold clear.
We brought supplies.
You may
We're here to
approach,
help.
Commander. We've got supplies at the ready.
Initial observations conclude that the subject is suffering from multiple ailments. Just as I predicted. You appear to have suffered some trauma. Sometimes my own accuracy troubles me so. Any treatments or supplies you may require are complimentary at the request of our presiding bishop. Very well. You should notice an improvement to your constitution imminently. May the numbers guide you. We shall stand by for further orders.
Whoa. Tell me, do you feel as terrible as you look?
The Providence is much too close for safety, and that rover it has dispensed. I do not like this like it fly.
Your vitals look grim, Commander. I shall not stay your
The Protectorate endures!
Ready to spread the truth.
These foes have been destroyed once, and we shall destroy them again.
Ready to dispense judgment.
Men ready. Exposure. Undermanning. Functioning.
Plasma? Never seen that before, didn't know it was possible. One thing's for sure, we're not getting around it. We better look around, see if we can find anything to help us out.
Here we face down a more fearsome foe than ever before. Pure mathematics.
At your word, I shall charge!
Enemy in evisceration range. man always did fancy himself a scientist. Stealing credit for others' work. Not surprising, and not the least of what he's done. There's no way the Sovereign figured this out on his own. Let's re-plagiarize it.
Let us return to the Rift Terminal so we might continue on our way.
This is Scientist Bernard Rand, sent to...
Another obstacle on our path overcome. Good work.
Monitoring the reconstitution, I picked up strange readings in the old skip lab. The core appears to be pulling plasma tightly around it, not unlike a planet and its moons. Fascinating, though it thwarts my attempts to gather more data. Fortuitously, in searching the remains of the lab, I found an equation that could manipulate the core just enough to clear the chamber. And my way to professional acclaim. Let this be a record of Protectorate ingenuity. Bernard Rand, the man who marched fearlessly into chaos and tamed it.
Somehow, I expect Rand's theories evaporate when put into practice. Much like Rand himself. Perhaps we can still utilize his calculations.
Recharged and ready to maim.
We should make haste to get to the Providence. We have business with that rift.
To intake for processing. Gunfire. We seem to have entered undetected.
We'd best unseal the hangar to continue our ingress.
Reinforcements we ordered. And not a moment too soon.
Contractor. Join me. We have important business to discuss. Come, quickly now. Well, glad you finally jimmied that open. Things are getting appreciably worse out there. We're running out of time to seize the rift and force it into corporeal insolvency. The presiding bishop wished for me to relay a message to you. Why she couldn't send her own courier, I couldn't say, but I'll attempt to simplify. The rift modulator is on the science deck, 1 floor up. Deck access is restricted without proper credentials. Imagine that twice as long and in the form of a distance problem. That means, of course, you'll either need to pilfer an access card, swindle some daft sod out of it, or find some other way around the deck restrictions. But I shouldn't know. Perhaps search the pockets of those you've killed, Or find an air duct to shimmy through, or a staircase to climb? Any more troops in here, they'd be tripping over one another. Don't you worry. These are the best paid closers in my fleet, and worth every bit. We'll hold here to ensure you aren't flanked by reinforcements as you delve deeper in. Don't fritter away your lives cheaply now. I've made a significant investment in you.
If you experience spontaneous exsanguination after treatment, please return to this unit before you die of blood loss. How might this unit bolster or reduce your current blood volume? Request received. Locating cruelest medical tools. Complete. Commencing medical procedure. Greetings, subject. Please note that any attempts to haggle will result in an automated reprimand. Please make a request.
What's going on down there, Deck 01? I saw an intruder alert. Acknowledged. This intercom is to be used for emergencies only. Misuse of this intercom will result in prompt arrest and correction of the perpetrator. Now, how can I assist you, Deck-01? Again? I shall send her down right away. But this is becoming a daily occurrence, and I will see such slothfulness reflected on her record. Exactly right. Think I enjoy sitting here, fielding inane requests day after day? But I remind you that gossip is strictly prohibited over this channel. Over and out.
A veritable mosaic of conflict stands ahead, Commander.
Unleash my might upon them!
Please, let me get release from this life.
Reminder, any and all screams of agony will be reported to your superior. How might this unit bolster or reduce your current blood volume? Doctor-patient confidentiality is currently enabled. Unit cannot share patient details. This unit is not programmed to receive vocal commands. Unit is receiving vocal command. Logic error. Emergency. Releasing personnel record safeguards. Scientist Winifred Wu is currently suffering from Lockney syndrome. Subject must receive regular injections of saline solution or will experience leg paralysis and must be carried to sickbay. Unit has been assured this is most embarrassing.
You know, it's against code to impede me from seeking medical treatment. So, sorry, I have an appointment to keep.
May have been messy, but definitely less complicated. fortunate that we've already found ourselves credentials, or things might have become complicated.
If we choose to keep from arbitrating the local scientists, we may be able to gather information on where the console's modulator is stationed.
Electrical damage. Failing.
They're obviously trying to wear us down through attrition, Commander. Must be unaware that we're happy to kill anything they throw at us.
Are you actually authorized? Come here a moment. Be wary. I've heard there's an intruder aboard. Ah, I suppose that could be you. Forgive me. I'm still a little addled from my last refreshment. I'm going to set off an alarm, okay? Oh, my apologies. I had not considered that additional help might be sought to make up for my deficiencies. And I suppose that's why I'm not in charge around here, and never will be. If you haven't been here before, you'll want to speak with Chief Scientist Montserrat. He's in the Rift Chamber. Be sure to show him your credentials. Security's been awfully stringent of late. Wouldn't do to be accidentally permanently discharged on your first day.
Poor fools out of perfection to experiment on them? I'm going to flay the skin from those cretins for this.
Go about your business. Or do not.
information about it.
I was notified that you were here, though my fellow scientists seemed rather confused as to why. Unsurprisingly. What exactly was it that you needed? I'm rather short on time, as a gander outside might tell you. Yeah, well, we all have urgent needs. And mine is to keep my lab and hopefully the rest of this system from falling apart. I need the modulator for my own analysis. You can wait. So you are familiar with the work we're doing? Tell me, what do you make of our experimentations? So then you've come to the same conclusions as I. Though, you're not the one I must convince to deviate from this mess that we're in. Our situation is far more dire than it may seem. There is no proof that Rift data can be stabilized or even edited. The Consul's plan will fail completely. But he no longer listens to me, which is distressing. I've prepared a report for him showing how the very structure of the modulator makes what we're attempting impossible. But I doubt he will pay it much mind. Yes, but as I said, I fear the report won't do any good. It's clear you aren't bound by the same rules as the rest of us somehow. If he won't hear me out, perhaps a third party will have more luck. Here, use this keycard on the module over there. It will allow you to download my report and grant you access to the control deck. I hope you're able to sway him, because if you don't, we're all dead. Deck up in the control room. The console is the only one who has the means of controlling it, which makes your persuading him that much more necessary. Go now.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
We got the schematics, but it's that other information that is perplexing me. If rifts are caused by skip drives, what are they doing in deep space? We can concern ourselves with that later. First, let's find the console.
Look at you, here before me. Surprised you could outrun these new legs of mine. They're what everyone's going to be wearing next fall. Well, I'm here now. Where's the rift modulator? So Consul Thoreau has everything directly under his control. I'd say that's remarkably competent for the Protectorate, but he is the one who's been pulling their strings all along. Did you find anything else of note? Wait, what? But rifts are caused by skip drive travel. Human-piloted skip drive travel. How is that possible? You're the one in the dark. I'm simply musing aloud. Much as I'm intrigued by the significance of all this, there's no time to dwell on it now. We need to confront the Consul. You might be savvy enough to talk him down, but his type requires a deft touch. You'll need to break him down brick by brick. If you're too adversarial, he'll simply shut down. Well, that's a trait you and I have in common. Just remember, pick the right weak spot to undermine. Never be obvious. Don't overplay your hand. And in case you aren't quite as sharp as you appear, be ready to fight.
You may try to reason with the Consul, but I suspect it is a worthless effort. Traitors typically only realize their errors through force.
The more we debate, the more time we squander. We must resupply and shore up whatever defenses we have quickly. And if you've something to say to any of us, Commander, I suggest you say it while you have the chance. No telling what awaits us beyond that door.
Honorable to the last. The Consul will pay. He will pay most dearly.
Protector Esmond. Very punctual, good. Don't take a seat, this will be quick. My sentinels tell me you have some interesting ideas. Oh, easy, no need to break into a sweat. Interesting ideas can be useful in the right hands. Especially now that our partnership with the Order has become fraught. We may need our own version of their pacifying doctrine.
Oh, so I do have a germ of an idea. A less grand version of the grand plan. Instead of atoms and particles and such, it's made up of us. All doing our part, like cogs in a machine.
Interesting. A system where every subject believes they have a role to play. Enthusiastic obedience. Why, the Sovereign and I were thinking of this very thing. What should we call it?
Well, I'm not sure. It's still just a germ of a concept, of a hint of an idea, you see. It's a whole new way of thinking. A new model of society. Quite the paradigm shift.
Paradigm. Very good, Esmond. Say, you look frazzled, troubled by your own thoughts. Why don't you report to mental refreshment? My staff will personally see to your well-being.
Never would I ever have believed Auntie Cleo herself would walk through that door. But I haven't time to linger in the novelty. Sentinels, if you would.
Do I appear like someone afraid of a few guns? Give it up, Emery. You've lost this war. Have some dignity. You're coming off desperate.
On the contrary, this desperate action is what will save all of Arcadia and rid it forever of trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
You used the peace talks as a test run for this.
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future. One free of doubt and greed.
Beware, Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. And were I within reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
Consul Emery Thoreau, I accuse you of perfidy of the highest degree, traitorism against the Sovereign and his Protectorate. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution.
You overeager fools. This is the last mistake you'll ever make.
I shall not stay your execution.
Stand ready.
Before we concentrate on the console.
Seems all my considerable efforts here have been ill spent. Total rift destabilization is imminent. Our last resort is our only resort now. We need to fly the rift modulator in.
You don't have some dubious plan for this eventuality? I owe Niles 5 bits.
Oh, brighten up, everyone. Not all of us need go, but, someone present will need to take one for the team. Yes, when I said we, I didn't mean the royal we, you understand. The Order and I will use this and the processed rift data to mass-produce modulators that are usable at a distance. These pesky rifts will soon no longer plague the colonies. If you're looking for a sap to fly that rickety rig, don't look at me. I intend to abscond back to my ship with those wonderful little schematics. I have plans for those plans. Oh, now why'd you have to bring that up? That's, I suppose you've made one hell of a sales pitch. Okay. Fine. I'll do it.
Of everyone here, I had you last to volunteer on a selfless suicide mission. It would appear there's more to your character than I thought.
Oh, shut up, the lot of you! Don't make a fuss, or you'll make me change my mind. Because of my metallic exterior? How very droll. Keep it up. It's not too late to glue your hand to the controls. Now, I think I've had my fill of this conversation. Simply take the schematics and depart my presence in awe-struck, misty-eyed silence.
And so, in the end, moved by the ghosts of her past, Auntie Cleo boarded the ship and became the galaxy's unlikely savior. In her final moments, the ruthless Auntie's Choice CEO mused that maybe she was the best choice after all. Thanks to the commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. Acquisitions Officer Carr enjoyed the perks and power that came with promotion for her asset-winning techniques on Paradise Island. Her rival, D.B. Milverstreet, meanwhile, seethed as he pushed cold morsels of borsloaf around the plate of his microwave dinner. Vigilant Hogarth was declared a traitor to the Protectorate, along with most other Westport townsfolk. They were judged according to the paradigm, then sentenced to be executed until dead, forever tied to the city they could not protect. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. The monastery's abbot became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. Seer Wiley fled the Order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. After defending Fort Endurance against a fierce Mantisaur attack, Executive Warchek was awarded a commendation for profit-securing stalwartness, as well as promotion to regional manager. He eventually passed peacefully in his sleep at the scientifically astounding age of 6. Val continued to serve the commander of the Incognito faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. As he rose through the Earth Directorate ranks, Niles pressed for a field directive to deploy the new Val units only when the situation posed significant risk. The policy reduced agent casualties by a significant margin. Oddly enough, in-office deaths increased by a not insignificant margin. Following Inez's humiliation of Auntie's Choice VP Willard Conan, the grafting program was shuttered forever. Inez ensured that all surviving grafted soldiers received full medical treatment and were compensated for their suffering. Those who died from the experiments were honored. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. After thoughtful cogitation and calculation, Marisol slowly began to reject violence as the sole method for eliminating random variables. Not coincidentally, her social calendar began filling up. After Azza disbanded the Glorious Dawn, its members quietly tried to resume lives forever disrupted by the Arcadian conflict. As the cult's murderous legacy faded, average colonist life expectancy increased by 0.23%. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. But with the old Auntie dead, a new figurehead was needed to keep up appearances. Company execs fast-tracked auditions for a new Auntie. Some employees thought she looked suspiciously different, but were too overjoyed with the prospect of growing profits to care. Unable to acquire the chemicals needed for the process, Ruth Bassar nevertheless attempted to interface with the archive and died immediately. Her successor banned any future interfacing attempts and led the Order in a much more cautious direction, delaying their progress for at least a century. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him. They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed claim. Until one day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the Commander's actions. The rift compromise between the Order and Auntie's Choice led to prioritized assistance for the colonies that agreed to favorable trading terms. The so-called Auntie's Loyalty Program tripled the corporation's net worth. Meanwhile, the Order was able to sermonize their version of scientism alongside Auntie's marketing and PR onslaught, at least to colonies in Auntie's Loyalty Program. Many outside died because their rifts weren't closed in time. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.